Look at that, Gordon. Nobody on the beach, mate. Nobody on the beach. It's absolutely fantastic. As you know, I like an empty beach. Ah. But they're all right. I've been chatting to them. But yeah, we're back on the beach. We're not at the river now. We're on the beach. Bit of a slip up. We'll talk to you about that later on, about what's happened. It is me. Look, here I am. I've got me polarized reading sunglasses on. But yeah, I'll go into more of that in a bit. Got a bit of discoloration on this front screen on this camera. I don't know what's going on there. I expect this GoPro's about to bugger up, which means I'll have to buy another one. But yeah, so anyhow, let's cut for the intro. And a bloody good intro it is too, Tom. That's a bit wrong, isn't it? Cut to intro. Well, that's the first cast out with the Jimmy sniper rod. Got a fisherman debating to come down there, which he's coming down. So it's going to get rammed down there today. That's the way it is, isn't it? There's other beaches I could go on that I know there won't be no one there because I can see. But we're here today on the Holderness coast. Looking forward to it. Right, what went wrong? Absolutely, well, I'll talk about the other section of it later on. We don't want to lose no subscribers through me ranting. But yeah, I got here yesterday about late. Got my head down, set my alarm for 12:15 to get up to catch the 4 AM, 4:30 I think it was, high water. And yeah, I snoozed the alarm as soon as it went off, as I always do, and then it'll go off again in 10 minutes for an hour. Never heard it again, just didn't hear it. So I woke up at 2:44. And by the time I got down the beach, I'd had an hour before high. I probably should have fished it. Lesson learnt there, because I would have been home now, pottering about doing something when I got a rod to finish. There's still some work to do on that I can do before the stuff come that I need. So I could have done that, but you know, I ain't driven all the way here for me not to do a video. So, but I very closely, nearly, very close, thought to myself, when I woke up again at 8 o'clock, I thought to myself, I'm going home, sod this. If I'd have gone home, I don't know when I'd have come back. I'm at that knife's edge at the minute, and I know that if I keep going fishing it'll go. I know what I'm like, but I get to that knife's edge and it's either full to the right or full to the left. And if falling to the left means that I don't fish and then I don't put nothing up, or anything in life really, then once that's gone over that side, it's hard work for me to pull it back. but I don't want to. But it was just after the day I had yesterday, and then missing the bloody tide. That would have been good as well, because night time. Hopefully there'll be some fish out here today in the daylight, but it is what it is, isn't it? I don't want to blank. I've just sent out the jimmy rod, the up tide rod, and hopefully we'll catch a flounder at least. But a turbot would be nice. Sole, that's what that rod is for. I've got a big rod down there as well that I'm going to bait up in a minute and chuck it out. It's only got a single hook. It's got me special secret hooks on as well, so John Spalton knows what they are. There's only 2 of us in the gang, all joking aside. But yeah, we're here on the Holderness coast. It's a glorious day. Matey boy, he's gone plenty far enough to the right. It's just with my cast are wayward, but they haven't been wayward for a while, so they should be all right. Yeah, let's hope we catch something, eh? At least I know what I'm going to be fishing on. That's this great big bank, because I don't think I'll reach the other side of it when I'm up there on the beach. Fingers crossed we'll catch something. Yeah, I've got a bit more to tell you when I come back in a couple of times. Video's gone in a bit. You got to lull people into a false sense of security first before you start ranting. But I don't think there's much of a rant in me. But you know what I'm like when I start going at it. Yeah, I just take off, don't I? So, but I've slept on it since then. You see, I've slept on it, and I don't think I know him. I mean, there's thousands of fishermen on here, but just the box and the rod bag looks familiar. But he's got tattooed forearms. I don't know anyone with tattooed forearms. Not to talk to, anyhow, yeah, what we'll do is I shall get this other rod baited up with some bait, and I shall cast that out. Hopefully this tide will start coming in. Low water is now. It's 11:55. It is Saturday the 17th of June. Up to now I've only fished twice in June, and I can't remember what the date was in May, but it was a while ago. I haven't done much fishing at all. I've missed virtually all of May, and I've had 2 sessions in June. I shall get a couple more banged in. I've got my box and that up on the beach, and what I've done is I've walked down here. Instead of walking dead straight in front of my gear, I've gone to the left. What's all that about? I've got my sunglasses with me optical lenses glued in, so that I can see. But I'm not that keen on sunglasses. Very rarely in summertime do I wear them, and I keep getting told off because obviously sunlight can damage your eyes, can't they? We all know that. I'm just so used to not wearing sunglasses that when you do wear them they feel awkward and alien. But I'm going to try and wear these today, so if you see me with sunglasses in, it's not that I'm trying to look hip or anything, because that ain't going to happen at 55. It's a case of just trying to save my eyes from squinting. And with these on, I can actually see. It's like wearing a pair of spectacles. What they cost me? £1. Yeah, my front lens on my camera is purple and yellow. So I don't know whether that's on its way out or what, but we'll have to wait and see. I still haven't put a bit of tip paint on that little rod of mine yet. I'm going to have to do that. I'm building a rod at the minute. I've got to do that, put some tip paint on that. And once my high build come, I can actually do that. So yeah, well, I'll use that high build for the eyes. I can do the eyes, and I'll use my new high build that's coming for the sticker. That's what I'll do. Give that a try. If it's shit, I'll really be angry, because if you can't get the bubbles out, you're knackered. But I hit it with a flame. And I've got to put an order into Guides and Blanks for this rod to get some stuff. And I shall get some eyes for my other rods that I'm going to be doing, which are my own personal rods. But yeah, we've got a group of 4 fishing to the left of us. They're all mates. 2 of them turned up together, and then the other 2 turned up. There's 2 fishing further down, which I think is a father and son, or father and daughter. And matey boy to the right of me. But I've been told it's going to get rammed down there today. Hopefully not. Do you know, I think I've got a bite. Right, let me turn this off. You've been listening to me long enough. I'll watch this rod, and if I've got a bite, I'll bring you back. Well, I was happy with that. I didn't do any graunching, any putting my back into it or anything like that. I just saw a lugworm cast down there, but only very tiny. Yeah, no graunching or anything, and it went dead straight. I remembered my left hand, pulled down. Maybe other stuff went wrong, I don't know, but it's out there a good distance, just where the waves are starting to build. So I'm well happy. First cast as well. I'm well happy with that. The screen on the back of this camera doesn't seem very bright, so I'm going to have to go into the settings. Oh my god, what am I going to do? And see if I can brighten it up, because it's hard work for me to see it. I'll put my glasses on. Perhaps it's the sunglasses. I've cleaned all lenses. But yeah, now we're out fishing. You can see the water. Should be okay for a ray, but I don't know. Oh, he's got a drag net, so he's trying to catch prawns over there. I thought he had a push net, but he's got it on a rope and he's just gone in and dragged it out. He'll have baby sole in there, flounder. He'll have weaver fish, all sorts, but he's after prawn. Did I bring any prawn? I didn't, no. It's a bit hit and miss prawn. It is a good bait. There has been times when I've caught on it. I was recommended to use prawn by a chap called Mally. But yeah, it's one of them baits, you either catch on it or you don't. But then what bait isn't like that? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Harry? Well, we've got both rods out. We've got the jimmy rod out. See, I've got two jimmy rods. So we've got the jimmy rod out and we've got the jimmy sniper rod out, which you all know is a short uptide rod, which is tapped a couple of times, but there is waves that break just at the shore. Literally as it comes onto the shore it breaks, so it is pretty much flat calm, but it is building probably about 150 yards, 100 yards out. It's building. So that bait was a full squid, big squid, and 6 ounce weight, and I could actually feel it quite heavy. So I'm pleased that's gone out straight. I'm really chuffed with that, with my cast. Dead straight, absolutely dead. So all last year, since I realised and speaking to Alan, because Alan tells you everything for you to learn, and then as he says, it's up to you. But just because he's told you, it don't sink in, and you have to fight your way through it, really. And as you start to do more practice casting, you start to realise more, you feel stuff, you don't know what it is, so you phone Alan, he'll tell you. And in the end, you'll have a phone call a few months later saying, mate, I've just had so-and-so, it's absolutely... And he said, well, I told you that at the beginning, but you just don't understand it all. And it's a learning curve. It's coming. I struggle with my hip, as you know. And that's why I didn't graunch that. If I was only 30 years old or even 40 and Alan had found me in the yellow pages, as it would be back then, because I went on YouTube, I could have had a casting lesson with him then, and I could have been belting it out. Because you're young and fit, you're like a whippet, aren't you? But at the minute I'm a bit like Gus waddling down the beach. I need to be like Rocco and Luna, don't I? Tear-assing around the beach, but them days are gone. Well, let's correct that. Tear-assing, I've never done that. These rods keep moving, or the little sniper rod does, so I'll turn you off and bring you back. I'm going to keep watching it. Could just be the waves on the line. The other good thing with this little Jimmy sniper rod, the uptide rod, is it's lower than the other rod. So by the time I get up there and then put it on the other rod rest stand on the leg, the tip's going to be really low, keeping the bait nailed on the floor for a sil. I can't wait. I just would like to catch today. He's right out there up to his nipples. Well, just below his navel. Because if it was at his nipples, he'd have waders full of water. Lovely chap. Didn't even ask him his bloody name, did I? Right, I'll bring you back. I'm going to keep watching this rod. See you in a bit. Look at that. Nothing as of yet. The little rod keeps tapping, but I just think it's them small waves that are going into the line because it's only out 25 yard. Could have a fish on, I suppose. We'll see in a minute. I'll have to do a bait check, change, rebait up. Tide is coming in. Like I said, high water was at 11:55, so that was at Bridlington, so it's probably about 12 o'clock there. There's another fisherman up on the cliff. Coming down, they get down. Two more I can see also, but they might just be dog walkers. Yeah, it's a nice day. Bit of mist out there around when I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock and got out of the van, because the van was then getting warm. It was cold last night. I had to put a wool hat on, which I keep in the van. I got a food hat, as you know, and I kept it in the van and reached and grabbed that, put that on my head last night because my shoulder that was out of the bag, sleeping bag, and my head was getting cold. So once that was on, that was probably the main mistake, weren't it? Because I never woke up after that. But yeah, my plan was to fish the tide at 4 o'clock, but I think I've mentioned it, I'm not sure, that's why I'm now touching on it again. I woke up at 2:44 after snoozing it at 12:15. Yeah, I didn't plan that snooze lasting that long. That's like a night's sleep, isn't it? Well, matey boy's done his netting, so he must have quite a few shrimp. He only did it twice. Just nice and relaxing at the minute. There's not really I'll probably not even be wound up enough to tell you about my drive there, but it was terrible. But I'll tell you when I'm back up on the beach, I think, and I'll have both rods out then, big rods out fishing. But it's a Daiwa Kenzaki day today. We've got both 13'4", I think they are, beach casters on the uptide rod. So that'll be the first time I've ever used all three together. In the last beach video I did, I had the Kenzakis, but I only used the same configuration as what I'm using now. One long beach rod and the Jimmy Sniper uptide rod. So today's going to be the first day of all three, and hopefully I'll be able to cast off the beach all day. And if I cast exactly like the first cast, I shall be well happy. That bloke that's up on the cliff is now just touched down on the beach. He's now got down. I don't think there's any steps over there where he come down, because that's where I was looking last night and thought, well, you'll get down there. But obviously if it's wet and muddy, any wet mud, clay on these cliffs, don't stand on it because you'll just sink in. Bring you back in a bit. Well, there's nothing on there, but I had to check. It was obviously the tide that was just making it rattle. So what we'll do is we'll bait this up, chuck it out again. It's these sunglasses, isn't it? That's what it is. It does look very dark. I don't understand it. Perhaps my camera's on the way out. I bloody hope not. Just a 2-up flabber. That's all it is. Get this chucked out because we should soon be up on the beach, I would think. Yeah, it's all right. That it must just be, God knows. Let's get this set up. Down there, the picture is black. No, no, and it's a flipping sunglasses. Oh dear. Plonker, Rodney, plonker. I've casted that to the right because when I walk back to my box it'll be in front of me. Always set your drag. If you don't set your drag, you could end up losing your rod or your tripod falls over. Those skylarks are out in force. It's nice to hear. There's some cliff erosion up there, and I've talked about it before. I know, you know, people will listen to me talk, won't they? And some won't, but I'll just say it again. You know, you hear a lot about coastal erosion, don't you? And you hear a lot about coastal erosion. And they blame the rising waters of the sea and this, that, or climate change, and it's why it's rough in the bad weather. But that's not the case, and I'll prove my point. I was talking to Brett months and months ago, and I don't know whether it's perfectly correct, but it is right what he says. the trouble with it being is a lot of the stuff what I'm now going to talk about is out of the water. So if it's not in the water, it's not to place in the water, is it? But if you fill a glass of water up and put an ice cube in it, the time that ice cube is melted, will the water height in the glass have changed? And no, it won't, because the ice cube sinks to where below the water, it sinks to the level of the water, doesn't it? It don't sit out of the water like an iceberg. But icebergs that are broken off, they sink below the water, don't they? So it's only where it's built up with something hard underneath where it's out of the water. So I understand that. But if you put an ice cube in a glass of water and you mark the glass, by the time you go back in a few minutes or an hour and that ice cube is melted, the water line will still be in the same mark on the glass, because it's just to place the water, isn't it? There's no air in it. There might be a tiny bit of air in it, so obviously it'll be a little bit less, but yeah. So but I'll show you what I'm on about these cliffs anyhow. Forget me gargling on about this, that and the other. Having a right mad lana. So I'll see you in a bit. Water's coming in, as you can see. Yeah, what an absolute numpty I am, isn't it? I'm looking at the back of this camera and I'm thinking, I can't see the blood what I'm filming. And what it actually is the fact that I've got these sunglasses on. Plonker. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Well, there's a few more on the beach now. I've got a chap that's just dropped in between me and the four that are together. And Graham, my old mate, is down there, and he's come that walk down, shook me hand and said hello. So yeah, it was great to see catching up again, Graham. Yeah, you're on fire at fishing at the minute. Let's hope it's rubs off on me today. Just watching these rods, nothing's happening yet, but we're up on the slope of the beach now, so the water's come in over all the flat bit, and we're up there. So I shall bring the big beach rod in next. It's just that it's out a long way at the minute and it's got a big squid on it, so hopefully, with it being out so far and the water's now getting deeper, we might actually pick something up, but we'll have to wait and see. Feeling quite chillaxed at the minute. That's a cross between chilled out and relaxed. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable. When I get a bit further back, I'll be able to have a bite to eat. Only I've made myself not have anything to eat until I get back to my bag, which I think might be possibly an hour and a half, couple of hours. So I might have to sort of like bin that and just go back and get a sandwich. I'm getting hungry now. I haven't had anything to eat. I had a tin of soup yesterday dinner time, and last night when I got here at gone 9, I had a ham sandwich, but I only had 6 sandwiches and I've ate 2 already. So, you know, 6 as in a sandwich, 2 rounds of bread cut in half. So I've only got 1 sandwich left really. And it is now, time is 1:49 on the 17th of June. So I shall have my food down there. I've got a chocolate bar and that in there. I need to cut down on the chocolate now because I'm fed up with my belly. Need to lose some weight. I'm telling you that for certain. I need to lose some weight. This belly's getting too big. But I'm going to eat the sandwiches and the bloody chocolate bars. And then when I get back to the van, when I've finished fishing, I've got a tin of spaghetti bolognese in there and a cooker. And I'm going to heat that up and eat that. So it keeps me going. Till I get home. I keep looking at the little tiny screen on this GoPro 8 and it's blue and yellow. I don't know whether that's normal, but I haven't pushed my finger on it. I know that. That'll probably pack up, won't it? Never mind. Anyhow, I'll keep watching these rods. It's a glorious day. Sun's gone in now, so it isn't baking sun, which is nice, but I've had to put this t-shirt on over this top, and I've realised that this t-shirt was laying on the sideboard, that being a piece of furniture for you young people, if I've got any, that you put stuff in. It's got 3 drawers at one end. It's from the 60s, but yeah, it was my mum's sideboard and I did it up. So yeah, I put this on, but the cats have been laying on it, haven't they? And I didn't realise I just grabbed it and chucked it in my fishing bag. So if I look like a furry coat or a cat, yeah, then I apologise. I ain't a grufty git. I'm just, well, probably I am a grufty git, I don't know. Anyhow, I'll bring you back when I reel that rod in. There's a hole over here that I saw, and I'm just going to cast into it. So Well, I've cast it over that way. I'm going to move all my gear up the beach now, get away from its water's edge, and get my other big rod out. So, see you in a bit. Left the bloody camera on. That went slightly to the left, that one, but it felt ever so heavy. I think with loading the rod up, my muscles, I got none, because you only use what muscles you got, and you only get what you get through what you do. And I ain't been casting off the ground, have I, as you know? So yeah, need to start lifting some weights, don't I? I'm getting this 2-hook flapper up now, because the one that's on there's probably got 2 hooks on, or 1. But the only reason I'm concerned about that last cast is because I've got a bloke that's winkled in between me and the group before, and I've gone over towards him a bit, but I did walk down there. Don't get tangled up though, do you? Because people get a bit moody, don't they? So I'll get this baited up. We've got tiny little hooks on there. We'll get it baited up. This is for the close in rod. I'm only going to put a 5-ounce on as well. Or what I might actually do is swap this 5-ounce weight for the 6 that's on the other rig, and just fish small hooks. Push comes to shove, these hooks actually do rust like crazy. You can see some of the rust. I've only used it once, already on the line. So it is what it is, isn't it? So I'll get this baited up, get it hung on the tripod ready for when I bring the little rod in, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. He's now cast out, he's reeled in. I presume it's because I cast near him. I'll see how far. He ain't going out that far, I don't think. But yeah, I might put a 5-ounce weight on one of the big rods and see what that feels like casting. And at the minute, it's like I'm in the gym lifting weights. See you in a bit. All right, let's get this rod that's been out for ages in. Well, it's heavy. There must be a lot of weed on it, is all I can say. Got a plastic bag on it. it is full of may rot. First hound. What an absolute beauty. Let's get a quick measure. First smooth hound of the year, and we are looking at, it's a boy, and we are looking at 88 centimetres. Brilliant. There we go. What an absolute beauty. No blanks, first hound of the year. Can't believe it. Never even saw the bite. Yes, we've gone. Brilliant, fantastic. So, check there's no other hooks down there, shall we? Yep. Brilliant. Chuffed with that. Let's get it back. Just check it's recording. Yeah. One last show. Let's go put it back, eh? And I have got a line full of may rot and plastic. Not good. It's up and down the beach at the minute. Well, there must be what, 3, 4, me, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There must be 16, 17 anglers on this beach. And I'm the first one to pull a hound out. So Norfolk Codcatcher is showing them how to catch the hounds. And we've got one of the best hound catchers on this beach in Graham, who won Ricketts competition. Well, it's a group that fish all year, and yeah, he won that, and I think I'm the first to pull one out, but that's just luck, isn't it? Right, that's the shotgun rod. This sniper rod is untangled because the hound swam around it and got hooked up on it. But yeah, there's no hound on the beach, none at all. So he's gone, and he'd coughed his stomach up or whatever it is, and I was like, shit, first hound of the year, and that happened. But I just held it upright with its nose to the sky and shook it and give it a poke into its mouth, and then what they do is, it's natural for them, they just swallow it, so it goes back into where it belongs. And when I measured him, I'd done it before that, and when I measured him and showed it to you to the camera, it never come out again. And I looked down when I was checking for any other hooks as well, because I do that, unless I'm in a frantic mess screaming like a little girl because I've caught a fish. But yeah, it wasn't there. I couldn't see it anywhere, so it had gone down, and you saw yourself, he swam off perfectly all right. So yeah, first hound, first one on the beach to catch as well, I think. It's brilliant. I'm gonna put this down now, stop recording for a minute. I'm gonna get all this Mayra off about 20 meters of line. Unbelievable. And yeah, I'll see you again in a minute. Ta-da. Well, it's raining. My foot slipped on the sand on that one, my right foot. There's always something go wrong, isn't there? But there you go, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Can't help that. But yeah, it's raining, and my coat and overall, me waterproofs, are in the van, because I checked the weather 20 times. Even the wife checked it for me today, this morning, and there was no rain. But there is rain. There's a boat out there, and I expect he's catching smoothhounds. I've caught one. Hopefully this rain won't persist. It don't look too bad. It don't look like there's huge rain clouds. Someone's caught a fish, I think, or perhaps not. So yeah, that cast, yeah, my right foot slipped. Didn't go out as far as I thought, but by God, a 5-6 ounce weight that halfway a lot. This is what comes to fishing on the River Humber, doing cheeky chucks. You lose all your muscles that you got from the previous summer. So there's a lesson learnt there, but sometimes it's quite nice just doing a cheeky chuck out, because it's so easy, isn't it? But that was at distance, that was. The time I walked back, it's probably about 170 yards out, and I had no end of May rot on there, which is gone now. I cut the knot, stripped it off. It's the quickest way. And but you have to winkle the May rot down, because as it gathers up the line, it starts to grip the line. So I'd have still been pulling it off now if I hadn't cut it. So yeah, first smooth hound, 88 centimetres. Well, that's a personal best this year. You never know. There's 3 cod caught off this beach yesterday. Well, codling. They didn't look like they were cod, but they were good sized fish. They were hanging over the bloke's box. So yeah, rod tips are out. He's reeling in, and I don't think he's picked me up, because I did cast over his way. That was the problem. If I get away with this, I've got away with it again. So he's not out as far as me, I don't think. But yeah, first smooth hound to me. The chap that I thought caught down there, he hadn't. I haven't seen any other fish. The chap down there pulled something out, but I think it was just weed. It didn't move, it weren't shiny. And unless you've got something that's black or green, I don't know what fish that could be. But yeah, we're out. We've got the Daiwa Kenzakis. Are they 13.4 or are they 13.6? They might be 13.6, because it says 1362 on it. Yeah, 4 to 7 ounce. Teamed them up with the Pen Fathoms. Yeah, cracking rods. Absolutely cracking rods. No shiny tips. Can't beat a shiny tip, can you? And they're not too hard either, so it's all good. Everything is wet. I'm going to have to put everything on the stones, I think, to get it out of the sand, because it's just going to stick and it'll be all in my van. So terrible getting old. I don't know what's good about it. Well, I'm going to get a wet ass. I've got to sit on my box, otherwise my hip seizes up. I have still got a rig to bait up for my little Kenzaki, the sniper rod. So we'll get that baited up. Nothing has happened with that rod over to the left. We're putting the smaller hooks on. Hopefully, as this tide comes up, the fish might come in a bit closer. Like I say, that hound was out a long way. By the time I'd walked back, I didn't cast it out this far, because I can assure you, with the way the rod is feeling with the cast, what I'm casting out is heavy. So there's muscles in my shoulders, my chest, my arms. Well, not necessarily my arms, it's my chest and my shoulders really, isn't it? And my back. They need to find the way. So a few sessions on this beach and I should be hitting it okay. You can't cast as far with a baited rig as what you can a plain bomb. If you've got a plain bomb on, you can send it bloody miles. Don't know where he's casting. I've decided that I'm going to start putting my red coat at least. When it's summertime, you don't mind getting wet because you dry quickly, don't you? But I'm going to put my top in this blue bag. It doesn't weigh a lot. It might even fit into my fishing box actually. I've bought a little kill bag, a Tronics kill bag, hopefully so I can get some sandwiches and food in with an ice pack, and then everything will be hunky-dory. But yeah, rain has stopped now, I think, just a tiny bit. There is a dark cloud ahead of me now, so it has come over. Thanks for the good luck, mate. It's just come through. But I need to tell you this, so you know before anybody else, Danny, I've just caught an 88 centimetre hound. So now you're privileged to that, mate. You know, I don't ever tell people what I catch normally. There is one bloke that I do now, because he's like a kid at Christmas, is our John Spalton. He's got to know what you caught. Yeah, still raining. Chap beside me is now walking to the cliff to have a wee. I don't know why people walk behind him to have a wee at the cliff. It's as though, you know, well, there's all men on this beach, but they can't see their old chap. You know, you can't let them see your old chap. Well, if you walk down to the water's edge and wee into the sea and sort of like bless the water for a fish, because that's what I did, yeah, just go and wee down there, because people at a slight angle to you, they can't see round to your old chap unless, well, me, I only tuck a bit out because obviously, you know, mine could be seen in Holland. So, you know what I mean? Nobody can see you down there weeing. And I don't understand why people always walk to the cliff, but everyone to themselves, ain't they? Probably don't want to make me jealous, does he? Yeah, so the last cast went straight, but my right leg moved in the sand, my foot moved in the sand. I was consciously making sure that I wanted it to go straight, so as soon as I saw what I needed to see, I pulled down and hit it. So yeah, I don't know whether when I was hitting it my foot moved in the sand, so with the action of me doing that I moved in the sand, but I didn't like it. You know, if you're on a field cast and everything's stable, isn't it? You won't get people casting on a beach at an incline or on soft sand doing a casting tournament, would you, for their big huge casting distances? No. They go in a field where it's firm, don't they? Got a hair there. I'm surprised I never saw that bite a fish like that. I'm pleased he was all right. And yeah, if you ever get a hound, the best thing you can do is, you know, it's potluck. If they decide they're going to chuck something up, whatever it is, I think it's their swim bladder, could be the stomach, I don't know. But when they chuck that up, the best thing you can do is get it in its mouth. Yeah, get it in its mouth, and then hold it upright, give it a shake, and if they've got a big enough mouth and they're a big enough hound, put your finger in, push it in, because it'll just swallow it down. I've done that now 3 times and it hasn't come back out, and the fish has swam off, and that swam out and then come back in with the tide because it was disorientated. Now I've just bought a sling for hounds, and I wish I'd now put it in the sling, put it in the water to get some water in it so it refreshes it. So I now don't stick it in the bucket unless I just want to get its head in and I support the fish so it can get some oxygen. And it's raining again. I can't see no clouds. It's quite weird really. I checked the weather, nothing. But there. Anyhow, it's enough of looking at me. You're at 12 minutes. Jesus. I'm just checking the weather now. Last updated 13:58. It won't update because I'm too far under the cliffs now. And I've had my drag set on that reel as well, and that fish never even pulled that in. But it's not out as far now. Like I say, that was about 170 yards out, that first cast. That was my first cast. Caught on the first cast of that rod. Can you believe it? It was the second cast in total, but the first cast on that rod. So I'm chuffed with that. Mind you, it's been out for ages. I just left it out, I put a big squid on it, and I just figured that it would be okay. So yeah, sorry Tom, we're in a second file now, but you should know that. But yeah, that was the second cast. First cast on that rod, caught a hound. If only I'd seen the bite and I've had the drag set, it would have pulled line off I could have heard the clicker. Nothing. Just got hooked up, and the weight probably was anchored really well into the ground, so it didn't pull on it. But yeah, it was 170 yards out. I know it's 170 yards because the spill markers on the spill, the markers on the spill. But it's because I cast it out and then walked back. My cast was probably only 75 yards, maybe 90 tops. The rest was walking back. There you go. Right, I'll bring you back when I reel this rod in. It's still raining. Don't want it to rain, but as soon as you it stops raining, your trousers dry anyhow, so should be all right. It's not a huge chuck down rainstorm. It's just spitting. See you in a bit. Right, I'm going to reel this rod in that went to the left. See what's on it. I don't think there's anything on it, but there's weed out there, so I don't want to leave stuff out too long. I didn't think that had released, but it had. But the snood was all tangled up, spun round the line. It's a long snood on it, on the pulley, and I'm going to change it to a short one. So stick a 5-ounce weight on it as well. See what that do. Yeah, I've got some short ones there. They're only single hooks though. Never mind, we're after a hound, aren't we? If a ray's hungry, I'm sure it'll pick it up, eat it. Right, so I'll bring you back in a minute when I cast this out. Right, wish me luck. Well, the difference between a 6-ounce weight and a 5-ounce weight is you don't give yourself a hernia. Unbelievable. So I'll move myself back up this beach and we'll take it from there. One smooth out, not bad. That went slightly to the left a little bit, but can't be asked. I've had a couple go brilliant and a couple go wrong, so it's just the way it is. Not a lot you can do about it. Certainly don't want to worry about that while I'm fishing, do I? So I would say my hip is starting to hurt, but I'm not using that as an excuse. But it is. Christ, he's got shitloads of weed. Oh. Right, I'm going to turn this off because carrying this, them days are gone. I need to get all this stuff up there, move my rods back, and see you in a bit. Absolutely nothing. What's happening to the Jimmy Sniper rod? I'm going to have to rebait that up. Worm and squid tips is still on there. I'm going to put a bit of squid on it, chuck it out short. Nothing on that. Thought there was. Right, I'll get baited up. I've got another bait to put on. I'll just get it put on the fresh rig and then I'll get this one baited up. See you in a bit. Well, that's out. Thought I had a fish on it, but matey boy next door pulled me in a bit and was reeling my line up, and I was thinking, what's my rod tapping for? But he was calling my line up, and then he helped me put it back on my reel. because it got tangled up, so he undid the tangle for me, which is very nice of him. But somehow I thought I was casting straight. I mean, that one's gone straight as well, so I don't know how that happened, to be fair. The first one that I did, I said it again, the first one cast I did when he turned up went right left and he never caught me, but I think I was going out further for him. But right, one hound. Thought I had another bite but didn't, just the way it is. I've got 2 squid on this flapper rig on the Jimmy shotgun rod, so we'll see what that does. I've got some crab in there. I'm now going to bait up a piece of crab with a bit of squid. I'm getting a pennel rig out as well. Yeah, don't know why, but obviously it's been a while since I caught the last fish, and I've seen fish come out either side, but they're not pulling any out now. Chap to the left of me's had 2, the chap to the right of me I think has had 1. There's been some hounds to the next group of guys and a ray, but nothing again. So it is slow. There's not that many fish about, so I'm chuffed I've caught 1. But you always like to catch 2, don't you? Because then it's not a fluke. Not that it's a fluke anyhow. You've got to be here at the venue, ain't you, to fish it. Well, I'm going to reel that short rod in, the sniper rod. I'm going to reel that in, and nearly fell over then. It weren't holding bottom. It weren't holding bottom. I was pulling it in, it was coming in really easy. Oh yeah, there's not a lot you can do, is there, when it's like that? So I've just pulled it in, come in ever so easy. I only chucked it out short. Short for that rod anyhow. Yeah, yesterday I came, yeah, so Thursday I was coming fishing. What's the matter with that? That's loose. I was coming fishing on Friday. Was going to be Thursday, but Friday looked a better day, so that was it. So Thursday night I was getting all my gear ready, and I thought I'll just have a biscuit because my fat belly needs it. And yeah, I finished the biscuit and thought my tooth feels funny, and yeah, I lost the filling. So that wheel turns round, doesn't it? And it's bit me on the arse now after taking the mickey out of the wife. So I went to the dentist, got it filled, but I couldn't get in. I could have got in. I phoned up Thursday and got an appointment for 9 o'clock, but I was coming fishing, so I thought, sod it, I'll come next week, the following week, because I don't want to miss my fishing. But then it started playing on my mind that I've got a tooth there and I'm eating and it's going to get food in it and stuff, and there could be some decay in it, which there was, which he cleaned out before he filled it. And they've caught another hound. what is it with some people? Some people are, well, there's always someone better, isn't there? And it ain't about being the best, is it? But you just want to have a couple of fish, don't you? Some fish get picked up better than others, don't they? There you go. So yeah, so where was I? I was yeah, so couldn't get an appointment Friday morning after turning it down Thursday night, even though I was phoning from 8:30, and then when I got through at 5 to 9 it had already gone. So the next appointment was 3:15 Friday, so I went to that, got the filling done, went got everything, was already in the van, I'd got ready and zoomed off after I picked the wife up. I was coming down to the Humber Bridge and I was in tasting distance. I could touch it virtually. And there'd been a road traffic accident on the bridge. Now, I don't know why, how or what, because you're only allowed to do 50 over it, but people speed over it. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Perhaps Moby Dick beached itself jumped out of the water and beached itself, I don't know. But there was an accident on there. That then put an hour and a half on my journey. I had to go all the way back round onto the motorways over the Humber, or whatever it's called further down. Hour and a half before I got into Hull, and then when I was in Hull on the Clive Sullivan Way, yeah, that was blocked and all, because they're working on it still. You know, you only see a handful of people on it, but they shut the road down. You have all these roadworks, don't you? And there's never anyone working on them, is there? And they're there for years. They must be milking the government, and they don't do nothing about it because they don't know that about it. And on the motorways going towards Hull, on the big ring road that I had to do, I mean, you got dual carry, you got motorway, and you're down to 30 mile an hour with speed cameras up there for all 3 lanes. You know, they don't mess about. Absolute bloody piss take it is. I mean, I was absolutely furious last night. It was one of the reasons why I couldn't get to sleep. But yeah, so like yesterday I was absolutely furious about it, but I'm chilled out now. It's just one of them things that I weren't planning on. It didn't matter until I got here at gone 9 o'clock, and I wanted to be asleep here at 8 o'clock. I wanted to be here and trying to get to sleep at 8, but that didn't happen. So I didn't get enough sleep. So at 12:15 I snoozed my phone, and then after snoozing my phone, I can never see where he casts to. It never splashes. So snoozed it, and then woke up at 2:44, and I thought, do you know what, I'm still tired. And high tide was at 4 or 4:30. So yeah, that didn't happen, so that hence I'm fishing now. So what I did yesterday I would have done today if I'd have gone fishing yesterday, so it don't matter. I got some jobs done. But yeah, isn't it annoying? I mean, you go through Hull is absolute a mind bender. The flipping speed limits through there. I know they're working there, but every time you drive through there, there's no one working. They've got all this work all the way down this road, and there's no one working. Never see anyone working unless they all knock off at 3 o'clock. I don't know. But yeah, they keep shutting it. It finishes in June sometime. But when I go back tonight, when I get off this, but well, I will do, because I'm still on this beach. It's gone 5 o'clock. The time is now, sit rep, 17:39. So by the time I get in Hull, I know the Clive Sullivan Way is going to be shut off, and I'm going to have to drive all through Hull doing 20 mile an hour, 30 mile, 20 mile an hour. It's happening everywhere, and unless people bloody say something and moan about it, it'll happen and it'll get worse. But you know, people ain't bothered until it actually happens, and it's like it everywhere. And I seriously think people are trying to force us off the roads by getting fed up, so you do something else for travel. But I don't know of many buses that go from my house to here. I don't know of any. Oh yeah, excuse me. Not as tired as I was in the last fishing session. I was absolutely shattered. I've got a bomber rig out, and I'm going to bait it up and see if I can catch anything on that. I've got the rod in close, the uptide rod. Got that in close, hopefully for a flounder, sole, turbot, you know. But it's not happening. It's just not happening. Tide is on its way out now. Once it starts to drop lots and lots and lots, I shall then be packing up and going. But my rods are stationary. First time I fished this beach. Oh dear. Just want another fish, that's all I want. Right, let's get this little rod in and changed. It's not looking good for the little rod, is it? Ain't looking good for the big rod either. I'm going to change that rig now to something different. Got mackerel baits on this flapper. This time I tucked them into my ice bag to keep them a bit fresher. Didn't go out far, let go too late. Nearly cut my finger. So I've got a bomber rig now. I'm going to put that other flapper rig away, take the weight off and put it on the bomber rig, and I'm going to use the bomber rig. Now, up to now, every time I use the bomber rig, I've caught on it. Now, I might not do that today, mightn't I? Because it's just one of them days, isn't it? It's very quiet. They had loads of hounds out of here yesterday and cod off this beach. But you can only be here when the fish are here. You know, you can't chase fish. There's something I don't do, is chase fish. But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, so, up there is a great big drain in the cliff, somewhere about here. And it's probably about a 12-inch clay pipe in there. And to the right of that is a slump, where it's slumped down off a cliff. Well, that's drainage off the cliff, off the fields, and all that water is drained off the fields when it rains, and it goes all down that cliff, makes that cliff unstable, and then it just goes. And that's the landslip and the erosion from the cliffs. That's what I seem to think, because I see it all the time. Again, there's a yellow pipe up there. You can see that's probably about 5 meters long. So that used to stick out of the cliff 5 meters. Well, it goes all the way along. There's one there that round the corner, there's a clay pipe round there. And all the way along these cliffs, and it's all through drainage off the farmers' fields. But people want you to know, or want you to think, that it's climate change, don't they? Whereas it's not always the case. Now, if I'd have made it yesterday, if my tooth hadn't fell out, there's a lot of fish here. what's happened there. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Look. Look at that fucker. There you have it again, eh? Thank you very much, Gemini. You're absolutely wonderful. I even cleaned it in the bucket. Or I have done. There you go. Always rely on Gemini, can't you? How long's that been out there wasting my fucking time? Oh. Because there's people out there that actually like Gemini tackle. But whatever you do, Gemini, don't send me fuck all, because I don't want it. What I use because I choose to use it, and then it lets you down, doesn't it? I have to use them bait clips. You never know if it's going to actually fish, do you? Now where's my flipping glove? Can't keep swearing. Legs getting tired now. I really don't need to have a bait out there, and the equipment that you buy because it's the best in the world, isn't it, lets you down. Absolute shite. Right, well, that's crab and squid. The next cast will be crab and squid, and the next one after that will be crab and squid as well. That's proper peeler crab. The other piece of crab I got, it's just to get rid of it. It's that freshwater crab. It's crap. I know it's crap, but I've got 5 or 6 in the freezer, in the freezer, and I just need to use it and get rid of it, because it's yeah, I hadn't even thought about the sun, you know, for filming. So sometimes if I don't face the sun, your face is all dark. It's not lit up properly. Well, I'll sit and watch these rods. Tide's going down now. Sometimes I catch on the ebb. Let's hope we do this time. It's nice hearing the skylarks. See you in a bit. Me it went then. You might have saw it. I need to sit down. I need to put some goop on, but there's too many people on this flipping beach. I think too many people on this beach for me to drop my trousers. Graham and his mate is still down there. We've got the chap next to me who helped me untangle my line that he pulled in. and we've got the cliffs, and matey boy's caught a small ray, so he's had a hound and a small ray. This is now the time. This is, if you're gonna catch, you'll catch on the ebb, and 4 people, 5, 6 perhaps people have gone. Wish me luck, because I want another fish. Stick with me, I'll try and bring you one. Right, I'm going to reel this little rod in and then put the bomber rig on. But the cover's dropping out of the water. Not that that really matters to me, because I ain't catching anything. Getting hard work. Well, that's it now. We'll just have to see what we get with that one then. Hopefully we'll catch something. Do the drag. Yeah. So, yeah, sun's out again. Sunglasses on. Is it chilly? Well, I've had to put my Gansey on, so I guess it is. It's just the wind. There's a little bit of breeze, and it's just chilling your back, even through this hoodie. So that's the last rig I'm putting on that Kenzaki Sniper Jimmy uptide rod. Could be called any of them things, so you know what I'm talking about. When I reel that in, I'll put that away. I'm going to make up another bait. We'll see what we catch on that, eh? It's not good. It's not good. There's a few rays coming out, but nothing major. And it's just one of them sessions, really, isn't it? Catch that hound at the start, or pretty much at the start, and it's been pants since, but it's not a blank. And it's my first hound of the year. So I was just thinking also about how fantastic last year was for fishing. I had a fantastic summer. The spring, end of winter and spring weren't good. I caught a little tiny codlin, I think. Seem to remember. But I had a fantastic summer on these beaches. Pulled out my biggest hound ever. It must have been about 16 pound. We'll never know, because I didn't weigh it. But it was a fantastic fish galore. I mean, one session you only hear about people catching 12 and 16 fish, but I actually caught 16 fish, something like that. Anyhow, it weren't any less than that. And then I went to the Lake District, come back, didn't have a good time in the Lake District fishing wise, but then when I come back here, I bang, caught my first summer codlin, which was in summer. And yeah, it was brilliant, and it just took off from there. It was a bit steady, but you had good and bad. But I've caught all the time since the beginning of September, and it's carrying on as of today. It'd be brilliant if I can get through to next September, catching every time I fish. I don't think I will, but you never know. You never know, do you? So I've got peeler crab and squid out there at the minute on the big rods, and I've got squid on a bomber rig, on the little rod. So yeah, and then obviously if you follow my channel, you'll have seen all the cod that I caught out of the River Humber. 54 cod stroke codlin in total since September. It was fantastic. I had a run of 12 sessions where I was catching cod every session. Session 13 come and I blanked, didn't I? Should have gone back to that mark. I should have stayed where I was catching. And then it carried on again. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was at least another 10 sessions of me catching codlin, then couldn't get the bait anymore. But what a year it's at that period of time. It's been absolutely fantastic. And you come on this beach today and bang, you catch a hound, don't you? But it's only the one. But it don't matter. It don't matter. It's good to catch, that's the main thing, and I've caught. We've got time yet for another fish. I ain't gonna fish it right down. I shall probably fish it until I see the slope is gone. I'm still in probably 3 or 4 foot of water. It's a definite brown band now and a green. If I can just put you on that, look, can you see that? So you can see where the colour is. And all that is when they say colour in the water, it's just the clay that gets bashed off these cliffs. The water comes right in at the cliffs down there and the other end, and obviously it washes the clay off, it goes in the water, and that's what you end up with. You end up with muddy, dirty water, which is the best you want really, because the fish seem to bite better. Lines are pulling to the left slightly. Nothing major, because the tide is now going out. It seems to pull to the left when the tide ebbs, and when the tide floods in, it seems to pull to the right. But I'll keep watching these rods. I'll get another rig baited up. I've got another pulley panel, so I'll bait that up with something, and that will probably be my last chuck on the big rods. Well, there's not a lot happening. I've got a squid and crab bomb, let's just say. Too big to go in the hound's mouth. But it might just sniff around it, smell it, and have a go at it. And it might just get hooked on the hooks. So that's what I'm hoping for. I've tried everything else. I've tried small baits, medium baits, small baits, singular baits on a flapper, the Jimmy Uptide sniper rod. That's not produced. That's 2 sessions where it ain't caught nothing. I can't believe it. I am lost for words. It'll come good. It'll come good. So that's the last cast on the little rod. And I've got one more cast on the big bugger, so we'll do that, see what happens, and hopefully we'll catch another fish. If we ain't blanked, we've had an hound. I think it's fished better down that end of the beach than this end. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. Jeez. A few years ago, well, last year, come up with a decision that if you weren't catching, you'd move. But the problem with that is on this beach today is that there was far too many people about. Now, I can see my mate Graham down there pulling in another fish. He's like a machine, that lad. Good luck to him and all. Oh, phone. That's a bit of excitement for me. Someone's contacting me. I'll end this here now. Well, I won't end this here now. This isn't the end of the video. What I'll do is I'm ending this little segment now. And we'll pull in the little sniper rod next, I think.
Yeah, one. Yeah, I know the one, a little skate.
So you catch the ray.
Yeah, it's got me small.
Yeah. Nice though, isn't it, getting to it?
Yeah.
Into a fluke, is it then?
Yeah, he just pulled on up there a little one.
Has he?
Yeah, they're still catching up there.
My mate down there, Graham, he said 5 hounds, but he said there's been a long gap between them.
Yeah.
So they're here.
Yeah.
It's not in fact, are they?
No, they're not. Ah, well, at least we haven't glanced. I think everybody started catching them, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I caught my own right at the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, it's going to come, and then it just hadn't.
It just stopped, didn't it?
Even this little rod that I put out, I've had nothing.
No.
And you normally catch some on it.
Yeah. But I've had enough,
Yeah, I've got one more. I've bombed everything on it.
Yeah,
I'm
just
chucking
try
it
your
in.
luck.
It
Yeah.
might be too big for the mouth, but they might sniff round it.
Yeah.
And that's it then.
Yeah. It fished well last night, apparently, here.
Yeah.
But it's one of them. It's
Well, matey
no
boy,
days the same.
matey boy there, he was there yesterday afternoon when I was supposed to be here, but I
Yeah.
lost it too, Philip. And he had cod,
Yeah.
hounds, rays.
Yeah, mad, innit? Yeah, so yeah, not every day's the same, is
Now,
it?
you can't chase them, can you?
No, you've got to try. Right, anyway, good luck, mate.
Did the shrimp do any good or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I got them on everything.
Yeah?
Well, they haven't done that shrimp. So, I only got about 3 pulls, so it wasn't that good. I'll go to whip next time, there's loads there.
What, shrimp?
Yeah, but I'd have fished it there, but you get on the dog walk, you can't have a pay out,
Yeah,
can you?
no, you can't,
You're like
mate.
that.
See you later, mate. Right, well, this is the last cast on the big rod. We shall give it a go, eh? Because that's what we're here for, isn't it? Giving it a go. It's been one of them days, like matey boy has just said, who I was just talking to. It's just been one of them days. But it's been nice being out, so that's the main thing. Let's just say it's out there. Yeah, my thumb slipped. Getting tired. But that's not an excuse for a crap caster, is it? But yeah, thumb slipped on it. There was so much weight on it. I am finding new muscles today because this is the first time for probably 7.5 months at least, maybe a bit longer, apart from a bit of practicing on the field, that I've been trying to, other things are going through my head, like how am I getting up this cliff? Well, stop saying yeah, it's been a long time since I've been doing off the ground cast, and there's muscles I ain't been using, obviously, because I sit on the sofa and don't do a lot in life apart from work, but that's sporadic. But when I am working, it is flat out. So yeah, it's all good. 2 or 3, 4 weeks time, sessions should I say, on the beach, it'll be a bit different. It'll start getting better. I might even do some practicing with a plain bomb as well. But one thing is, I can certainly tell the difference between a 6 ounce casting a 6 and a 5 ounce weight. So, but I didn't want to get to be. I've been casting all these rods out as far as I can hit it, and they've probably been going 80, 90 yards, maybe 100. But it's just the way it is. They're baited up. They aren't aerodynamic. We've got a wind blowing from this way. Well, what else is to say? What more excuses can I have? But yeah, I've been meaning to chuck the big rod out, one of the big rods out short, and every time I just do it as far as hard as I can. So my mate's caught another fish, or it looks like he has. He's certainly putting some back. Right, let's get this rod reeled in. This had crab and squid on, but that don't mean a thing in this game because there's nothing on it. Yeah, still squid and crab on it. It's not even been touched. There's a chap just pulled a fish out down there. I think Graham's had one out again, but I'm gonna put this rod away now, and then I'll reel the little shotgun rod, sniper rod in, and then it leaves the last bait out, which I'll leave in 5 or 10 minutes. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, that didn't catch and it tangled up to hell, so I think that's through reeling it in. I think it's because it's been reeled in, bouncing around, the weight's bouncing around. So that's that done. I'll get that put away and I'll bring you back for the final reeling. I don't know if you actually got that because we've altered the camera angle. I don't know if I was on it. Let's just check. No, I don't think I was there? Because my tripod's there. I might have been on it. So, Yeah, well, that's the end of fishing the Holderness coast today. What have I had? I've had a smooth hound. Now, if I'd made the early morning tide at 4 AM, well, at 12:30, 1 o'clock, if I'd have made that and got out of the van, I'd have probably have caught more fish. But it's not to be. That was at night time. It would have been dark and dusk. Today's been sunny, but yesterday it fished its head off here, which I didn't know about until I spoke to people on this beach today. So it's been a good session. You can't knock it. It is what it is. I haven't blanked. I've caught my first smooth hound of the year. And let's hope it's onwards and upwards. Let's hope we keep catching them and we catch more. The sessions will get better. There's places that I'm going to fish on lower tides, and I'm going to fish here and other places as well, so we've got it to look forward to. I may even go down to Norfolk soon. But if you've got this far, thank you very much. And I'll say it at the end, because there'll be not many people watching it this far at the end. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the channel, click and subscribe. And if you haven't enjoyed it and you've viewed it, thank you for the view, because it helps the algorithm. So yeah, it's been brilliant. Really, it's been brilliant, because it's been a glorious day. There was a little rain, but glorious day, and we've had a fish, and it's been a hound. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I haven't rabbled on too much. And yeah, tune in for the next one after this one, but share it about, do whatever you want to do. So yeah, there's nothing else more to say, is there? Apart from, I hope to see you in the next video, and let's hope that I get more fish. That's what I hope for. So yeah, it's been good. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you anon. How long's that been out there? I need to put some goop on, drop my trousers.